Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to my channel. Perhaps you have decided that you want to buy a house, but you're not very sure how the mortgage application process actually works. You're not alone. In this video, I'm going to tell you the 7 steps to apply for a mortgage. I will take you through them step by step. Now, the first step is you need to work out your budget. You don't need to have chosen a specific property at this stage, but you do need to have a price range in mind. You can use property portals such as Rightmove and Zoopla to see how much homes cost in the area you want to buy. That is Rightmove, RIGHTMOVE, and Zoopla, that is ZOOPLA. That will help you just to get a rough idea of how much houses cost in the area you want to buy. Now, since the pandemic, lenders have started only accepting applications from buyers who have saved up at least a 10% deposit. So that may be something you want to think about. Step number 2. Think about whether you're mortgage ready. Are you mortgage ready? Although lenders have different criteria when it comes to who they'll lend to, mainstream lenders will all expect you to have a good credit score. If you have a poor credit history or no history of using credit at all, you'll need to spend some time improving this before you apply for a mortgage. A couple of ways to do this include making sure you are on the electoral roll whenever you move somewhere new, and having products such as credit cards that you pay off in full and on time to prove you can manage your money responsibly. It does also help if you are in steady employment with a regular income. If you've recently changed jobs, it may be a good idea to wait until you've been in the role for at least 6 months before applying for a mortgage. Step 3 is finding a mortgage. If you're ready to buy a home, you'll first need to find the right mortgage deal. There are a lot of things to consider, including the type of mortgage that will best work for you and how long a deal you should go for. A mortgage broker can help you make these decisions. A good broker can give advice on which providers are most likely to accept your application and what type of product will best fit your requirements. Getting professional mortgage advice is an especially good idea if you are a first-time buyer and have never taken out a mortgage before. Ask your broker to calculate the total cost of your mortgage, explaining all the charges and fees, along with any conditional charges and fees such as early repayment charges. You can also find mortgage deals yourself by shopping around online or speaking directly to different lenders. Whatever you do, don't just apply to your current bank without shopping around. It could cost you thousands more over the term of the mortgage. The next step is prepare documents for your mortgage application. Prepare documents for your mortgage application. Once you have found a mortgage, then prepare documents for your mortgage application. In order to apply for a mortgage, you'll need to provide the following documents. The first one is proof of your identity. For proof of your identity, you're required to show either your passport or photo driving license. Note that having an old address on your driving license can lead to complications, and you may have to provide much more documentation to prove your address. To avoid this, try to make sure all documentation is up to date. The other piece of document that you will need is a proof of your address. You'll need 2 documents as proof of address, and these can be a bank statement, a utility bill, a council tax bill, or credit card statement. All of these documents must be dated within the last 3 months. Older documents will not be accepted. You should check that any documentation you provide has your name spelled correctly and consistently. For example, anything addressed to Stephen rather than Stephen, so Stephen with a V and Stephen with a P, for instance, is unlikely to be accepted as evidence. The same applies if you changed your surname after getting married. So please check that any documentation you provide has your name spelled correctly and consistently. The next piece of document you will need is your bank and credit card statements. You'll also need to provide details of your outgoings with bank and credit card statements from the last 3 to 6 months, any car finance or hire purchase agreements, details of any loans you may have taken out in the past, plus a list of other regular payments and expenditure like travel or childcare. Your bank statements should also show proof of how you've built up your deposit. Lenders may ask you to explain what they consider to be any unusual transactions, and evidence will be needed to back those up. If you've been given the deposit as a gift, you'll need a letter from whoever gave you the money. The next piece of document that you will need to provide is your proof of employment. If you're in full-time employment, you may need your P60, for those of you who are living in England, from your employer and at least 3 months worth of pay slips. If you're self-employed, it's a little bit more tricky. You'll need details of your tax assessments and your accounts from the last 3 years, including the current tax year. This may mean you'll have to submit your tax return earlier than usual if, say, you're applying for a mortgage in October, but wouldn't usually submit your return until the following January. In order to provide proof, you'll need statements from an accountant, a tax return form, plus supporting information such as bank statements and receipts. The next step in applying for a mortgage is you need to consider getting a mortgage decision in principle. Consider getting a mortgage decision in principle. Once you have found a mortgage deal that suits your circumstances, you might want to get a decision in principle, also referred to as an agreement in principle or AIP. Now, as the name suggests, it involves a lender agreeing in principle to give you a mortgage subject to final checks and approval of the property you intend to buy. Getting a decision in principle usually involves a credit check, so I would advise only doing this when formally applying for the mortgage, or if an estate agent asks for one to check you are a credible buyer. If you experience the latter, try to obtain the decision in principle with a lender who runs a soft credit check, as it's best to keep the number of hard credit checks to a minimum. And your broker can actually help you with this. Remember, each lender is different, but a decision in principle will typically last for 6 months. If your property search takes longer than you planned, you may need to get a new decision in principle. Remember, it simply means, or as the name suggests, it involves a lender agreeing in principle to give you a mortgage subject to final checks and approval of the property you intend to buy. The 6th step when you're applying for a mortgage is making a formal mortgage application. That is, making a formal mortgage application. Once you've had your offer on a property accepted, you should formally apply for a mortgage. If you're using a mortgage broker, they will arrange this for you. The mortgage lender will conduct a valuation on the property you intend to buy, and this confirms to them that the property is worth roughly what you intend to pay for it. The lender will also do a thorough check of the paperwork you have provided and your credit record. And this search will appear on your credit file. If a lender turns you down at this stage, it's worth trying to find out why, and potentially waiting a while before applying to another lender. This is because making several mortgage applications very close together could significantly damage your credit score. Now, once you have made a formal mortgage application, the last step, that is the 7th step, is wait for your formal mortgage offer. That is, wait for your formal mortgage offer. If a lender is happy with your application, it will make you a formal mortgage offer. And mortgage offers are usually valid for 6 months, whereas remortgage offers are typically only valid for 3 months. But obviously, this varies between lenders. But generally, you should expect to receive your mortgage offer within 4 weeks of applying. The process could take longer if there's an issue with the valuation, or the lender's processing center is busier than usual, or if additional information or documents are needed, or if your application is particularly complicated. Now, once you have a formal mortgage offer, your conveyancer will arrange for the mortgage funds to be transferred from your mortgage lender to the person you're buying the property from on the day of completion. And that is the last step that you would have to go through when you're applying for a mortgage. So just to give you a recap of the steps that you need to apply for a mortgage. The first step is work out your budget. At this point, you don't have to have chosen a specific property, but just work out your budget. Step 2, think about whether you're mortgage ready. Think about whether you are mortgage ready. Step 3, find a mortgage. Step 4, prepare documents for your mortgage application. Step 5, consider getting a mortgage decision in principle. Step 6, make a formal mortgage application. And step 7, wait for your formal mortgage offer. Now, if you found this video helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with anybody that you think may need it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos. I will be uploading a video next about what lenders are looking for before they offer you a mortgage. So look out for that video, and remember, in this channel I upload videos that are going to help you in your finances in regards to all areas of your life. If it's about money, I upload it. Now, thank you very much, and see you in our next video. Bye bye.